hit the close.
Yeah, but
Once
wait
it-
till it.
Yep.
Two car ones left. They had assistant chiefs there. Car one's gonna stay.
Can't you take it?
Pardon? No, they all left.
Okay, close it.
And he's
Yeah,
there.
but wait till it.
I got one. Good.
You gotta get to.
Where did my meeting go?
You must have some really
Try that,
difficult
yeah.
to present tonight because they all left you sitting
there
there.
you
again. I don't know, dreaming by yourself.
All right, we're live.
All right. Let's start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moment of silence for departed members, including Bob Martell, recently departed to Bristol Fire Department. Thank you. Roll call, sir. Here. Brian. Here. Dick.
Here.
Rich, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
We do have two members who are physically excused. They are online, Chairman Scifo and Commissioner French. They're attending, and if they have something to add, they can raise their hands. So they're not creating, havoc and chaos and confusion here. Start off with a public session agenda items only. Public session for agenda items only. Awesome. Hearing none, moving right on to the district building report. I don't see.
No, Joe will not be here.
Okay, so we do have a budget update from Bob Durivage here. Did send some stuff out to via email, but Bob, you want to go for it?
Okay, I did send everything out to the board, to Joe, to the wine skill chief and wine skill president, just to kind of give a snapshot where we are in the treasurer. Our contingency fund is actually better than it was in February, and the reason is because we were still waiting on a few credits to receive from MJG that we didn't. That was from some of the glazing that we didn't have to do, some of the parking lot earth that we didn't have to replace. So our contingency now is 52,000, which is we have like 43% left. So we did very well with the contingency. Of course, there are going to be some things that are in the incidental budget side that we actually pushed to the incidental and didn't take it out of contingency because we were working with Dynamic and DeJezer, and some of the extra work we had, they agreed that they would just bill us in invoices rather than put it through the project and charge us additional overhead. So we actually saved a few dollars doing that. So at the end of the day, we're probably used about 50% of our contingency is probably what we used. And the spreadsheet for the contingency change order is all there. Everything that happened throughout the project, you will see on that. So where there's been more impact and a lot more expenses is the incidental budget. The incidental budget is really based about 40% of the total construction cost. This was identified early on and approved by the board at the time when they awarded the contracts to the four contractors. So that amount was $814,140. So to date, with pretty much everything estimated as to some of the work that's still remaining, we are at $768,759. So we are under what our total estimated incidentals came in at. There are going to be a few other small purchases and some other items that we know we're going to need, but all of the bigger items you will see on the incidentals budget sheet, I put estimated or we're awaiting a final invoice, and that's on the right-hand side of the description of what the item is. So it's pretty well, I think, detailed for your viewing. And I also listed what the ongoing work and outstanding items were. I'm not going to take up time going over that, but it's all in the report. WFD reimbursements to North Greenbush Fire District. They're, aware, we've kept them in the loop of this right from the start of the project, that they will have to reimburse the district for some of the items that the district cannot pay for. And that's also listed, and I'll make sure that the leadership gets the actual invoices on that from when we made those purchases. So I'll pass that along to WFD president and the vice president. So the final closeout. In your payments tonight, you're going to see the final payment and retained in the amount of $45,203.47 for MJG. Everything, all the final closeout paperwork has been received and audited by it's complete. It was in order. They have 4 complete binders for us for our records and all of the bond and lien release. All of the appropriate documents have been received, and Terry is also aware of that. So we are requesting that MJG be paid this. Now, as part of their agreement, MJG did issue a credit back in November for $12,500, and that credit was issued because of the additional construction management and oversight work that the Finney Group had to do based on the fact that construction management ended on August 31st. MJG agreed to pay that $12,500 in the form of credit, and that's where you see in one of the change orders that credit. So additionally, we're looking to issue that check tonight also to the Finney Group for $12,500. So that didn't cost the fire district anything. It came out of MJG. Finney also tried to put in for additional hours from December through mid-April for $4,363. MJG was not willing to accept that responsibility. I told them the district wasn't. We're under really no obligation to do that. And Finney said that they will not seek recovery of the charge. So I think overall, we're in good shape. Sean, I have my spreadsheet completely up to date, so I think you and I will be able to sit down very easily and kind of reconcile everything and then see what the, what about the surplus would be. As we know, we still have some ongoing work and I'm still waiting on things. But I think I put correct estimates in here that we can come up with a figure for the August meeting of about how much will be left in total.
Good.
So I think we're in good shape. The leadership at the fire company seems happy. I mean, the HIPPOs thing was a real big, I think it's the right way to go. We're not skimping. We're going with a state-of-the-art system, but it's an easier IP addressable system that we can add on equipment and that the users will be able to use without any problem. Like we kind of struggle here with the Crestron system. This is a much easier system, and I think that will address their concerns. And then the big thing is Crystal Mechanical, the work that they did to do additional soundproofing. Joe and I and Ed, we met over there. It's definitely better. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect, but it's a lot better. And I think with the sound system that is going to be put in place and the work that was done to additionally soundproof the duct mechanical work, I think they're going to be happy with that.
Awesome, thank you. Any questions for Bob from online?
The one thing that I talked to Joey about the other day is that they make these architectural foam pads that just kind of stick up on that steel ceiling. Yep. And I think if it gets anywhere, I think they're like $300-400 for a box of 40 or 50 of them. That just, I think that would absorb any other noise there. But I think we wait.
Yeah, and we had talked about putting those baffles in certain areas, and I think what the fire company had said is let's use it, let's evaluate it, we can keep a little bit of extra money set aside so that if we want to do that, put them up and then paint them, we can do that. And that would be a great way, because that might just help the echo in a little bit in the room.
The ones I found were actually black.
Oh, they're black, so there you go.
They got little adhesive sticks on the back and you just stick them up there and you place them.
Perfect.
But I was thinking about that when you were pointing about it. It's not.
Yeah, there's gonna be more things that we're gonna do, we're not closing the project out. We're just trying to get the big ticket items.
I'm just trying to address the noise.
Is there anything from Richard Maker that good?
No, I could.
Excellent. Moving on with the department president's reports, Chief Steer/President Steer, when I call, so we'll get back to him. Doesn't make it back in the reason I'll tell us read off his report. WFT president.
He left.
He is in Dropbox. Yep.
All right, well, if they don't get back, we'll just do the reports for them. Approval of prior month's minutes. Everybody get a chance to read. I doubt Rich is on vacation reviewing it, but I didn't say anything bad in the minutes. Issues with the minutes.
I didn't see anything. I'll make a motion to accept them.
Motion by Nick, second by
I'll second it.
Rich, second.
all in favor? Aye.
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 Yeah. Treasurer's report, Sean.
Sign off. You should all have a copy of treasurer's report found in the digital Dropbox, and the bank recs are coming your way to sign off on, as required by our internal control policies and procedures. Okay, so let's see, for June 30th, paying for Green County, our money market account had a reconciled balance of $1,115,675. Of that amount, $957,640 is for capital reserve equipment, $106,949 capital reserve building, $51,084 is capital reserve repair. We earned $1,859.30 worth of interest on that money market account. Year to date, we've earned $10,739 of interest on that account. The WFD capital projects account has a reconciled balance of $393,464, leaving $655 worth of interest for the month, $3,947 worth of interest for the year. Checking account reconciled balance of $523,008, $962 worth of interest for the month, $7,911 worth of interest year to date. The subsequent supporting documentation is a copy of the bank reconciliation and bank statement for each one of those accounts. It should also review and sign off on. Also, all of the canceled checks that have cleared the bank are attached to your treasurer's report for your review. And then there's a listing of all the checks, the check numbers, the payments, the dollar amounts of all the checks that were cut during the month of June. And then finally, there is a unaudited, because Bobby had found a couple things that we classified. Anyhow, our actual expenditures year to date compared to our budget year to date. And we have still over like almost $500,000 to spend for the year.
Really? Excellent. Thank you, Sean. I need a resolution to approve the treasurer's report. Resolution for Bob Chapter. Go with me.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Nick. Roll call.
Bob. Aye. Brian.
Aye.
Nick.
Aye.
Rich.
Aye.
All right, approval of prior month's invoices. I had the pleasure of going through the invoice myself. One thing that kind of stood out, we are missing a voucher for one employee's payroll. We're to get that added in there, so we're covered. Audited.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
I just didn't pick it up with its mailbox.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's minor proof that I actually looked at everything. So again, as Bob mentioned, there's renovation expenses on here, so it's 111,000 total for the month. Need a resolution to approve the invoice unless there's any questions. I'll make the resolution. Need a second.
I'll second it.
Rich,
It was a tie. We're going right down.
Rich,
Rich got it.
They need a roll call.
Aye.
Dick?
Aye.
They'll all be in person. All right, correspondence received.
Yep. Okay, correspondence received for the month. We got the M&T, end of the month collateral statement. Got a letter from the town clerk advising us that there would be no primary election here. Got a letter from VFIS in regards to a claim for damage to a 2018 Ford Explorer, Wine-Sco Car 2. Associated Fire Districts of New York, State of New York, their District Affairs newsletter. Received the signed copy of the MOU for the Upper Mountain Fire Company. That MOU that you passed recently. We got a check from LexisNexis for $5 for a fire report request. And we received the check for the previously mentioned VFIS claim in the amount of $450.
Excellent, thank you. Any questions on the correspondence?
Nothing sent.
Awesome. Moving right along, old business. Nothing on the agenda, anything for old business? Awesome. New business, we do have the CIC agreement, basically for Lane Kane to do our EMT CME stuff. The contract expires July 31st, so we'll be renewing for 1 year. We do have to have a resolution to sign this. Any questions about it right now, or but basically it expires in 2 weeks.
Terry, you did.
He did.
Rich, do you have a question?
Well, I saw the email from Chief Wilson on it, and I just want to comment that I too, I don't want to say I struggle with it. I'm kind of pull apart on this one. We're paying for a service twice. Our EMTs are getting refresher training through her. She signs off on it as New York State CIC. But the training itself, we're also paying for through Target Solutions. We have a contract with Target Solutions. We pay for Target Solutions. And one of the many training programs that's available to our EMTs through Target Solutions is their refresher training. We still have to pay a CIC to review their completions and sign off on it. Now, I don't know how much that would cost, but it certainly wouldn't cost as much as it costs to pay somebody to train them. Now, I want to also say that I looked at this, had to be 2 or 3 contracts ago, I was asked by this board to look at it, and we found that it was a very fair and equitable price she was charging us. And they also found that the EMTs, I can remember the 4 distinctly, EMTs, 2 from Wine-Sco, 2 from the Pre-Show that I talked to about this, were very, very pleased with what we were getting for services from them. So, you know, I guess the question becomes, do we want to pay the extra money and have somebody that they're very happy with, or do we want to cut our, save some money and just go with Target Solutions?
I'm not sure our Target Solutions covers.
We do not have any relationship with Target Solution anymore. We discontinued that when we went solely through VFIS University, because the VFIS University was free, and Target Solutions, who are still charging us, and it does the same thing. Now, of course, if there was consideration,
then that changes the equation.
Yeah, we don't have anything with Target Solutions anymore, so we're not paying anything for that.
But Chief Wilson had asked to discuss this, and I don't know what his points were.
I think subsequently, talking to the two chiefs kind of offline, I don't want to speak for them, so they both went on the fire call. The idea, I know they were talking about other options, but there was kind of a consensus reached because the problem is the contract expires July 31st. If you're going to make the change, they should probably start considering this more in December or January of this year or January 26th. We need to make a change, but right now, basically the contract expires in 2 weeks. And they were okay with waiting and holding off.
Couldn't hear all of what Brian said, but if you're looking to extend the contract while we do some investigation in it, I can support that.
No, basically the consensus was, I don't want to scream, I'm screaming as it is in this room here, so my apologies to those in the room. Basically, the idea was if they do want to have some kind of change, to start looking at it for this December or January. Basically, the contract expires July 31st, so just the members were happy with this. It was go term, the prices didn't really go up. They're okay with going with it for now, and they understand that if you're going to do some kind of change, you got to look at it a little bit sooner than like 2 weeks before the contract expires.
From what I understood about it, I'm good with it.
I'm not even sure what you said there. Are you able to make that up?
Can we table it till the Chiefs get back, Brian?
Yeah, we can put it off for when they get back.
Just in case. I mean, I don't want to pass something if they have some comments or concerns because they deal with it more than we do.
Gotcha. You have to talk to the side now. President's reports. All right. Well, the other thing is that under new business seal coating estimate for WFD. Bob, if you want to speak to that or Mike?
Yeah, so we received 2 quotes to do the seal coating for WFD. They're up this year. DFD was done last year. It's every other year. And we received a quote from 5 Star Property Services in seal coating and Prestige. 5 Star Property Services came in at $6,900. Prestige was $6,980. We are interested in, I would make the recommendation that we go with 5 Star. It's also a local company. And due to some of the problems that we had with the seal coating at Breesville last year and the striping, that he clearly identified it was the wrong type of product that was put on top of the seal coating, and that's why it's coming off here. So, this is a 5 Star, is a good company, and I would make the recommendation that we go with them to do the seal coating.
Any questions about that? If not, just make a resolution.
I'll make a resolution to go with what was it? The 5 Star.
And I'll second that.
Great. Motion by Nick, seconded by Rich. Roll call. Brian. Aye. Nick.
Aye.
Rich.
Aye.
Excellent. And welcome back, Mr. Wilson. Thanks. Just in time, we're talking about the CIC contract for Lynn Kane.
Oh, yeah.
You want to bring up any concerns, whatever?
Yeah, just had a conversation with Dan about that, and, we're kind of in agreement that let's do 1 more year and spend the next 6 months reevaluating and finding somebody new. I just think there's probably more of a, better situation or solution to make sure our members are getting trained and we're spending money wisely, and maybe make it easier for them if online training is available to them, things like that. So as I said, we want to do 1 more year and then spend between now and mid-year, look for another avenue to go to and go from there. So.
Excellent. Chris Skip, I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, I heard that. That's fine with me.
All I heard, it was all broken up what I heard. I'm sorry.
The chief asked to do another year and then reevaluate within 6 months and try to find somebody better.
I can support that. We need to take action before it expires, because this is what happens every time. Is we discuss it the night that it's expiring, and we need to keep our EMTs current, so we can't stop the process.
Right, so need a resolution for permission to sign this. Now, make.
So resolved.
Seconded by Rich, roll call.
Aye. Brian.
Aye.
Mick.
Aye.
Rich.
Aye.
Moving right along, let's go back to WP President's report. Do you have that?
I do.
Excellent.
Should have received it all from Jay, just to kind of go over a couple of things. There's multiple building use requests in there from the auxiliary, for approval. Inventory of our things has basically been completed by our trustees. They're trying to get the data compiled, electronically, and then once we have that, we'll just send a courtesy copy over to the fire district. The second request item on here, I believe has been fulfilled. Sean, we put that on Jay's desk for when he returns. The waiver of liability forms was sent for a second time, so that's already been taken care of. We also had a new member application, submitted that was approved by the department. Everything should be good to go for that for you guys. And, you've all been filled in with the open kind of renovation items and the AV stuff. And I submitted the voucher orders and the shower items. Unless you have anything for me, simply that's all I have.
No, I appreciate that. We'll act on the membership, we'll act on the application. Everything to be in order for the for reps over there. So the billing used to look good to me, but.
Yeah, I think the other thing was Jay wanted to know the status of the 2% tax check, but that was about it.
Sean, do you know what the status of the 2% tax fund checks are?
Yep, they'll be going out tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah, the money came in and it'll be going out.
I love money.
Came in the third, so it'll be going out tomorrow.
Excellent.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Sorry about that.
All right, excellent. The other thing I think you might have missed during the call is, we talked about the renovation project and stuff. Everything's on track for you for that part?
I wasn't.
Okay, I kind of was sure when the call came into that. There is some monies that, the company has to pay back to the district, but you'll be getting something soon on that.
Sure.
It's for stuff that we can't legally purchase for.
Okay.
Excellent. We'll give President Seer a chance to get back here. We'll come back to him.
Mr. Chairman, we also, if you could entertain under correspondence received, we did receive the check received from Sean Kerwin in the amount of $53 on 7/10. It's for Verizon charge, if that could be duly noted to be entered. Michael, add that on.
So we don't think we need a resolution for that
No,
part.
no, it's we just do it as
Duly noted.
correspondence received. I just wanted it, so it's in the record.
Awesome. All right, jump over to the WFD Chief's report.
Oh, thanks.
Well, your counterpart didn't come back yet.
Oh, no problem.
You left out.
You should have my due reports, the two Richards were submitted. I took a few other late minute, duties we took, and that'll be done. The physicals were done. One member did do his physical, removed from service. Two members didn't do their quick test. They were notified by email about that. The change in their activity. We did have a cardiac reversal, last month, and we gave out certificates of appreciation to Past Chief John Hanlon, Past Chief Dave Wilson, Firefighter Jordan Ryan, and one member that was in attendance for cardiac reversal at Banner High Hall. Those two other items, mobile generac link and the problem thing was taken care of. Following up on the fire officer, firefighter qualification update. Any movement on that?
I was just going to answer that once everything was done, but
Okay.
yeah, no, that's fine. I give you one.
Okay.
Basically, it was typed up. Brian had jury duty today and was unable to email to you yourself and Chief
Fair
Sheehan. Fortunately, there is no trial. We got excused about 11:30 this morning, but you guys should have the draft copy tomorrow, just for the record. It's not really going to affect elections, in a bad way.
Sure.
The one thing it does add, I know for a couple of years now, Lion Skills asked for a position. I was talking to Bob about this. Driver as kind of like a low SAP type thing. After talking to Terry, it's not like a legal term where you can get low SAP points for it. So his recommendation's not here tonight, obviously, but, the best way to go with it, you identify, you can call them drivers, whatever you want to call it, within your department for LoSAP purposes, it would be an engineer. So they would get engineer points, but so you call them engineers for the LoSAP purposes, and you can call them drivers internally, however you want to phrase it.
Perfect, okay.
So they would be eligible for the engineer title points.
All right, excellent. Apparatus equipment repairs, rescue 42 back through check engine light and problem code. They had found one issue that they're covered under warranty, the other part they had to replace. So fingers crossed that lasts for a while longer. Truck 42's extended PM repair was complete. We're just waiting on the seatbelt for that. 427 with backburner air conditioning problem. They thought they fixed it. It's still not fixed. I tried it today after I found out how to turn the valves off, and we're still getting lukewarm air out of it. So I put an email to Jeff. He was supposed to send somebody over today. I hear back from him, but I'll follow up with him tomorrow. The 2013 Tahoe has everything fixed again. Next time it's 4 windows. One of the cutters end saws was supposed to go back, but they don't service that year anymore because the last time we bought that saw was 1998. So the two saws I do have will be going back one at a time. Then get that completely repaired. Future service repairs. We talked about today about rescue 42 truck 42 need tires. That'll be on my list of projects to do this week. The PM service, they did notice the front springs and shocks are probably going to need replaced on truck 42. They said it's a monitor it if it gets any worse. I'm going to call Watkins and see what they say as well. Kind of get a second opinion on that. Truck 42, I'm going to call the Ferris about getting headlights for that because both of them are full of moisture. And that's due for PM in October, so it's not like a need to do now type of thing, but it'll get done. And then when utility 42 is out for its PM, it needs a back form. I don't never had one or not, but it's going to need one. And the two other things for building items is done. I remember an officers meeting planned for the 17th of this week. Start going over stuff for next year. But that's all I got. Any questions for me?
I do want to say congratulations to the 4 members, Commander Ivanhoe. You know, once again, it's good work. You know, it needs to be acknowledged. Any questions for Chief Wilson?
They put that seatbelt in today.
Excellent.
Oh, he was there doing it, and I assume he did finish.
All right, I'll take us off that.
Yeah, was it done in the back?
The cardboard box, pushing around.
There's the photo box when we said.
I'll check where the box was on the seat, so.
Yeah. Yeah, check my.
I think I saw some, the iPad was ready for truck 42 or it was in.
Yeah, right here.
There you go,
So I
perfect,
get all logged in, so that's great for me.
outstanding. Any questions from the internet for Chief Wilson?
Nope, I'm good.
Driver training request.
Oh yeah, we do have one driver training request here also. Next on that now, it's for Zachary Burmer. Let's check in back. All good, I guess. You want that? That's just a motion on that, I believe it's.
Should be a motion, yeah.
I was making,
Before
I
that's
was
make a
gonna look
motion.
at it, but yeah, it's just a motion to approve driver training request for Zachary Burmer. I'll make the motion. Second by Bob, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Awesome. Motion carries. Going back a bit, President Sear, if you could, for your President's report.
Yep, we have 1 firefighter application submitted. It's gonna be for past Chief William Burkhardt. He's been, switched back to, his supporting life member status. Now he wishes to reactivate his firefighter status. He's got more time he's able to dedicate, so that's been submitted. We held 3 events in the pavilion in June. All went well, and the post-inspection reports came back clean. We attended a food truck night over town hall. I know Wanskill's been there a few times. It's great PR. A lot of people come up to the truck, but no applications coming forward or any inquiries really about that. We invited the public to attend an ice cream social here at the firehouse, where we had ice cream donated from Stewart's, games, free raffles. We had over 200 people attend. There was a lot of conversations and curious residents about how we operate and stuff. So good conversations, but again, No applications came forward yet. And I want to recognize Emily Peary and Christine Liebenow for co-chairing that event, going out, getting the donations, marketing it, and it was labeled a success completely. So kudos to them. Last month, I contacted Hanford and Adirondack Beverage seeking donations of bottled water. Typically, they end up donating to the fire department. We were out. In total, they ended up donating 1,775 bottles of water. So we have enough to last us at least a year, if not more. And we send thank you letters to both companies because that is a tax donation to the fire company. I was contacted by Paul Jordan. He is the son of one of our founding members. He was his father was the first president and the second fire chief. His name was Chet Jordan. And Mr. Jordan donated back to the company his father's original uniform cap, chief's hat badge, which was very unique, and shirt badge, his chief's shirt badge, and a few other pins and stuff. We're going to put it together and display it in the historian's case, which will be nice. And we want to thank Bob Durivage for coordinating the electronic sign repair last month. Everything seems to be functioning well now. It definitely needed service, and we've now probably put that on the calendar to be serviced every so often. We know what it needs now. So that is it.
Excellent. One thing, when you mentioned they were out of order at the station, is that something like we should get to a certain trigger point? I mean, companies shouldn't really be the ones having to get water for firefighters. If we get to a certain level for inventory where maybe the district should, we can't rely on donations, I guess is what I'm really trying to say.
They enjoyed donating.
Oh, absolutely.
They were more than willing to, and they're like, if you need more, give us a shout. So if you guys need bottled water,
Yeah,
either one,
I'll go talk to them.
yeah, they're super friendly.
Yeah, it's just something I was thinking about, that's kind of an operational thing. If
Adirondack wanted to give us seltzer water, and I'm like, yeah, no, bubbly water isn't good for us when we're on fire.
Fair enough.
So, yeah.
Excellent. Any questions for President Steer? Hearing none. We'll act on the two under membership cases for one for each department. Chief Sheehan, Chief's report. We're just playing catch up for those guys.
So we had a drill a couple weeks ago where we tested up the dry hydrants out in the eastern portion of our district, and none of them were operational. They're all either corroded or covered in sand and silt at the bottom, but we couldn't get prime on any of them. So we're gonna reach out to the town and see if there's a way we can get those back in service operational, whether it's fixing the pipe or making it more accessible for a truck to get closer to the body of water. But at least in the freeze-filled filter port, have a secondary water source, especially out there. Even with the hydrants that go out to Geyser Road now. So we're gonna reach out to the town or reach out to the highway department to see if we can find a fix for it. Next Thursday, we're gonna be down at Regeneron for their Fire Safety Kids Day and their STEM Day. They're anticipating 600 to 900 kids through the door. So we're gonna be down there all day. And kind of rotating shifts with our members, showing kids fire truck and helping out Regeneron as they see fit. And we're giving us free food, so the win. But we'll let you know how it goes. Good PR for us and spread good fire safety and education through whoever shows up. I want to thank our company for the ice cream social. They dipped into the company budget for to pay for the ice cream social. So and it was again good PR for us, and hopefully we get at least a little bit of visibility from it. Maybe we get an application or two, or just have the public through the doors and see what we pay for it. First duty crew purchase for the freestyle will be for tonight. We have 4 members apply for it, and you guys have the numbers in front of you. We still have several members that have accrued well over $100 that are holding on to it for bigger purchases throughout the year, either in the third quarter or at the end of the year. So we're anticipating either the third quarter or the fourth quarter it'll be a much bigger purchase. The way our system set up is every quarter we allocated $1,250, and then it's based on percentage, so we don't go over, don't go under. And like I said, hopefully we have a bigger purchase for next quarter. And then the last thing I got, the city of Rensselaer, their chiefs reached out to us last month, us, East Greenbush, because they're going to expand their career and technical education program to the East Greenbush School District for students in North Greenbush and East Greenbush. So why does that matter for us? Well, when essentially both these programs, firefighting, they do half the day in the school, doing math, science, social studies, core curriculum kind of stuff. Afternoon, they go to the Rensselaer Firehouse and do the CT program where they're doing BFO and wildland firefighting right now. And they're hoping to expand the program to IFO and hopefully EMT later down the road, but they're just trying to get their feet off the ground. So why does it matter for us? Well, if what they're going to do is if a student joins the program that lives in North Greenbush and Freesville, they're going to push them to us for membership because they want these students to be involved in a fire department. This is good because they could have taken in all the students themselves, made them all Rensselaer firefighters, but with good cooperation and relationship building over the past several decades with our neighbors, this could be a really good program to get us some free recruitment for no cost. Right? They're not asking for money, they're not asking for anything. The only thing they're asking for is we help advertise the program through social media, and if they get us some flyers, pass them out at some events, or at least put them on the table. But that's the only support they're looking for right now. So they push us members, hopefully. We help with a little bit of advertising. And it could be a home run. We could have 5 students that join, or we have none. They all be in East Greenbush, but we don't know until we try. So that's promising. Like I said, we'll keep coordinating with them, whatever support they need, but it's a good program. And if anybody knows anybody that is in the 11th grade in the East Greenbush School District for Rensselaer, help them to go towards the program. So they're interested in being a firefighter. That's all I got.
Yeah, excellent. Sounds like a good program, good ideas. Hear more and more about this stuff like happening statewide where there's some kind of mostly programs, mostly downstate actually, but hopefully it works out. We do have purchases here. I'll pass them. Well, about.
They're all in Dropbox too.
For those on link box, but they are in the box. But basically, for Lions Guild, it's the sort of bags, pop-up tents. It's all recurring retention, the 360 camera with accessories, DFD comes, and Facebook, Instagram marketing, DFD, and then the duty crew program purchases. And on the front cover is the current budget where they're at dollar-wise. Everything's within on track, within budget. So there gets a chance to look at it. Just need a resolution for those purchases.
I'll make a resolution for the purchases, Brian.
Bob Beach, but we'll give you the second. Second by Darren, roll call.
Brian,
Aye.
Aye.
Rich,
Aye.
Okay, standing committee reports, apparatus equipment, fire medic operations, Rich and Bob. First.
Bob, you want to comment? And I'll fill in if necessary.
Bob's going first.
we've met with board members. We had the opportunity to go to East Greenbush for the Golden Valley, for Tears. There's still discussion as to mid mount, rear mount, and we're getting the people that are advocating rear mount out the advantages and the ease of use and the more accessibility to the building. People that like the mid mount obviously have a contrarian view. As far as the four manufacturers we met with, one of them, when they give us the quote, it will not be a final bid price. They have the ability to tack money on the sale of the truck, depending on inflation. The other 3, 2 of them said the price is the price. That's it. The third one says they put a percentage into the price that becomes our money. And if the cost, they're hedging their bets for inflation or tariffs and things like that. But they say that that's our money. It's very open and transparent. And if it doesn't meet that, we get that money back as a rebate. Depending on which truck we're looking at, it could be anywhere from 28 to 30 months up to 4.5 years. Pricing so far, it's all in ballpark, someplace between 1.9 to 2.4. The rear mount on everybody's initial dialogue and conversations are someplace between 10 and 20% cheaper than a mid mount. Everything else being equal. So as of right now, there are 2 manufacturers that can get under our doorway. The third one is checking to see how low they get for rear mount. All mid mounts are okay. Rosenbauer was the last company we met with. They say that their rear mount 4-section is the shortest of all 3 versions. Either the 3-section rear mount or the 4-section mid mount. 4-section rear mount is the shortest truck of all 3 of them that they make. Some of the other ones are a little bit longer. We still haven't gotten into any real hard details when it comes to the bid specs. We give them generic specs. Just to take a step back, the shortest Rosenbauer is the largest of the 3. It's 103 or 104 foot. It's because they do 4 sections versus 3 sections, shortest truck. So I think within the next 30 days, the committee will meet again and try to be a little more specific in what we're looking for. So I think as a truck committee, we're going to need to sit with the rest of the commissioners and take a look at where the financial end of it plays out. How that fits into it, how we can afford it, those kind of things. So I guess it took Rich. I don't think you mind if I mentioned it, but Pierce is the one that won't give us a hard number. And it's from all the feedback we got from them, they're the most expensive, even before they do that. So, Rich, did I miss anything?
No, that sounded pretty complete. Like as you said, it's a long process, and balancing functionality versus cost versus what everybody wants because it's what they've had becomes the question we're dealing with here. Initially, everybody was feeling, we need to have another mid-mount because it's what we've always had and it's worked well for us. But if we can get more functionality or the same functionality with a rear mount, then obviously we need to look at it, especially when we're looking at up to 20 to 25% less cost for the device.
Also, I believe Chief Sterner, there was feel free if I'm misspeaking here, but there's a Sutphen out there. It's like they have it's more like a program truck.
An advertisement that they posted on social
It's
media.
just like, it's like a 6-month delivery date.
Well,
There's other, I'm looking at all options, I guess.
Originally, the truck committee was kind of hesitant to look at that because it's not a true lap. Okay, we can definitely take a look at it. The problem is they could have that truck, but my buddy here says no way. If they offered us one in 6, 8 months or 12 months, we just wouldn't have the cash to fund it, correct?
What's the price?
probably close to 2.
So my other concern is when you say 4.5 years,
That was Pierce.
because I think we're at the point where to fulfill the long range plan, the truck should have been ordered. And I think we're gonna rescue 9 right now.
I take a step back. Pierce says the normal truck would be 4 to 4.5 years, but they have allocated slots to vendors that could be anywhere from 2 to 3 years. But you can't, it's pretty much the way we're headed anyway. It's just,
The cost uncertainty was.
it's the standard truck. Now, Rosenbauer, meeting with them the other night, they make 2 different bodies. They make a extruded body and then a rolled and formed body, where they take the material, they bend it, they create the body in the cabinet. The extruded body is stronger. They give you a lifetime warranty on the body. It's about $120,000, but the delivery will be about a year earlier with that one. They'd be right now between 28 and 30 months if we give it a contract today. But
It's more than no time frame.
it's the other one we didn't get a lot of talk to is Ferrara. They have the other rear mount that will fit in the station the way it is. E1's rear mount will fit in the station. The question on Rosenbauer is like probably a couple inches. They're trying to figure it out. But the other thing that was brought up was depending on the cost of the truck versus taking a look at raising the door in the truck bay. What would be the cost of raising the door in the truck bay compared to the savings that you get in purchasing the truck? And right now, it's probably worst case scenario, I think 30 to 40% of what we would save would go into changing the door. Now, it doesn't seem to be a major, to take one course of block out, changing the overhead door, but I mean, for me, when you look at it from a district perspective, that's something we need to take a look at, the cost of the truck, what we're getting, and if we have to do something like that, I think it would make more sense than, oh, we can't do that and getting something that, overpriced and not what we really want.
So if you're available, Sean, but like when you have your next meeting, hopefully, for the August district meeting, maybe you can loop Sean in and maybe Sean can come to the actual meeting.
Yeah, Sean, I would think that it would be best for Sean when the committee sits again, which should be in the next 30 days, that you would be good for you to be there so you get an idea what we're up against. And then after that meeting, then we'll have the final meeting with each one of the vendors, and then say, okay, this is what we're looking for.
Could you also ask a couple of those vendors that want one that definitely has an escalation clause in there and the other one where I understand?
Yeah, it's kind of backwards.
Can you just get I'm sure they will provide us a sample contract that has that language. That way Terry and I could start looking at that, because Terry may have some concerns about that. It'd be good to kind of run that down now before we.
Yeah, I mean, for me right now, the one that won't give us a hard number, they'll give us a hard number, but then there's some government body that works off of the inflation, the cost of living increase. And they said, well, it hasn't gone up and all this, but then they're also talking 4 years, and I'm saying, okay, the cost of living is an annual thing.
But if you could get that, I mean, especially ask for it, so that way we have it.
Yeah, that's just my one personal opinion. Right? That is not something that I can get behind from a board going in there not knowing what our cost would be.
I don't like doubt. I don't like doubt.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is what it costs, this is what it is.
Oh, and the other thing with one of Rich's big things that he brought up, it was a valid point, is proprietary parts. Most of the vendors state that The majority of their components can be bought either at electrical supply house, heavy duty truck parts, something like that. Again, the one that is the most restrictive is Pierce. So,
Right, so we'll try to get Sean at the next meeting. Hopefully we'll be a lot closer coming in August. I hate to bring it up, but as a board, I want to start considering this rescue 9 so we don't get behind there. I hate to see two committees run side by side, but I think we're at the point where rescue 9's committee should get in place. So
I mean, I would envision kind of the committee do the same thing that the truck committee did. Put out there some generics, what they're looking for, nothing really specific. It tends to.
we give the two companies a month to come up with a rescue 9 committee. Then we can work on actually creating the committee for the August meeting. At least start looking into it. And you may look into it and say that the lead time is 2 years, which is fine. We got some time for it. But if the lead time is the same 3-4 years, that I believe rescue 9 was 2029 was the replacement year. It was 3-4 years. We should probably keep moving on it.
Do you have committee set up for real estate?
First nine, no. Nope, not put together.
Sure you do. Yes.
So we started looking at least an idea we would want on the committee, you know, similar size as the truck board 2 committee, and we'll look at that. Anything else for FRS equipment, firematic operations?
That's my knowledge, as to Mr. French. Commissioner.
Anything, Rich?
Damn thing. Am I off mute now? Good.
Correct, we can hear you.
All right, the only thing in firematic operations, do you want me to, do you want the fire operations, do you want us to sit down with the chiefs and bang out and haggle out what they want to do with this, EMS contract in the next 6 months?
You can get that's the route you guys want to go, that's fine. The idea is basically, we should have our decision by December, January. So
Brian, you're coming in all scratchy, so if that's something you want done, let me know offline, and I'll work on it appropriately.
Is that a yes, Brian?
Yes.
He said yes.
Okay, that I heard.
They can hear you on that side. Here's the angle of the microphone. All right, building and grounds, myself and Nick. There was a couple of things done. I mean, just going on the report here. The main ave intersection follow-up, I believe Mike helped facilitate a, for lack of a term, correction or a modification to
Better for
the
the turning radius.
turn. Thank
That
you.
all look good over there? I haven't been over that way, so.
To me, it does. It's a
Yeah, I
change.
don't think anybody's driven over yet. New blacktop, kind of see truck mark on it, but.
My driveway looks great.
But it's better than it was.
Yeah.
Left a lot of dirt behind, but we cleaned it up.
Nobody's going over and go bump, 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 so it's still.
Well, that's a good thing, and thank you, Mike, for doing that.
Mhm.
Foam disposal follow-up, drawing a blank, so I'll.
Yeah, well, it's been a long saga. We finally have the approvals in place. That's happened within the last maybe 3-4 days. The, obviously, the knockdown Class A is not the issue. It's the universal gold Class B that is the problem. And the vendor we were going to, the company that they dispose it with, canceled their contract with them to do that. So they had to establish a new relationship. So that's why that's taking some time. But I think, I'm hoping that by the end of July, we're gonna have the foam out of both stations. We are gonna bring everything from DeFreeseville to Winesville, so we do one pickup location. And how much foam is in that 55-gallon barrel?
I'll do maybe 6
Okay,
inches. There's-
good, because we're gonna have to empty those other universals in there. So, but we're close.
Thanks. Thank you. And over here, DFT, then the oil and water separators are cleaned out recently. Kudos, from my understanding, from what the vendor was reporting, that they're surprisingly very clean, which is, you know, probably a better term, a tribute to the work that the members are doing over keeping that clean. Also did a lot of prep work and work at the end of it, which priced at the district close to $3,000. actual labor. So it's just another example where, the members are doing a lot of work, both stations that are saving the district a lot of money and should be kind of noted and remembered, so to speak. Wish we could pay you, but again, thousands of dollars being saved. Anything else for building and grounds? Nick, anything?
I don't have anything.
Excellent. District personnel, we do have the two applications here. Dropbox, I believe also, for William Burkhardt, returning in Gianna Thomas. Everything look good on my end. You want to just do a double review here? Next year. We'll start sitting close again. But all good there. You need resolution. Motion to accept the two members.
Thanks.
Motion made by Bob, seconded by.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Brian?
Aye.
Aye. All right, welcome to members. We love the usual deal with physical and off and running they go. Financial insurance audit. I have nothing. Nick, I'm sorry, Dan. I think he's not here. Nick, anything for financial?
I have nothing unless Sean does.
Nope. Okay, long range planning. Myself and Nick. Do you have anything before I go?
Nope.
Just on long range planning, just a couple things that we, it's probably actually under other topics, just for kind of make this the potpourri of topics. The commissioners, we talked about changing the LoSAP, looking at some changes there. I think Sean, you're going to reach out to some people, and I think Terry's going to do some work. Kind of like, is this a dead thing, or are we going to? Is this something we're?
I reached out to Penflex about that because they kind of deal with that type of policy or program with us currently for the extended 10 years. And so they were just asking for more statistical data as to what we have. And were we going to grandfather? I mean, there's a number of questions we got to answer. Right, grandfather people in and keep the old policy for the people who are in the old policy and so forth. So there's some more internal questions that we have to resolve.
So I think Terry's also going to get a couple of things for us. Just the idea, because I know I've had a lot of members who are kind of actually excited about the thought.
Right.
And
if you recall, when we had that representative, the FIS, she was kind of saying we couldn't do it. Terry was pushing back.
saying there's another group that could do it.
Right. So we're still working on that.
Yeah, I think long term, short term might not be as much savings, but longer term, 260. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
It's worthwhile. And I think members actually like that idea more now.
I think it would attract younger generation.
Right. So. And I actually have heard from members my age saying they wish they had that option 30 years ago. So, another thing on long range planning, we talked about we have to make a decision on station keepers or replacing the Tahoes. So I haven't really heard much more on station keepers and stuff, but budget hearings, budget's coming up, so I think that from the last long range plan, the accounting up on the board here at one night, we're looking at replacing one Chief's car next year and one after that.
We did go back and update the long range plan for Tahoes now. So
right, but if we're going to go with station keepers, so we really need to look at that, and I think it's probably pretty expensive. But the idea was really need to know what we're doing because we can't hit the taxpayers with 2 double-digit tax increases back to back. We're already doing one in 27 or 28, for which year it is, to help fund the truck and the rescue. So the idea being kind of make a decision on that. I think there's some more thing. I'll come back to you probably halfway home. Nick, you had nothing. So policies, procedures, and membership. Myself and Nick. Nick, do you have anything?
I don't have anything.
Okay, I'll send the officer policy out tomorrow. I was going to send it out today, but I had jury duty. So my bad. It's also my bad for not doing the previous 30 days when I said I was going to do it. So that's on me. But again, not a lot of changes in there. It's going to really impact elections or anything like that. It might actually help in some way. So LoSAP, I have no question about the
I had, I just,
But we do have,
as Bobby asked, I had, because the 2% funding is split out based upon LoSAP activity. So there's $51,713 that came in on July 3rd. And WFD's portion of that is 61.2%, so 31,648. DFD is 38.8%, so they get $20,064.72. So those checks will be coming out tomorrow.
I appreciate that. I believe there's some questions last month about LoSAPs.
Yeah, Jay had asked about information regarding, long-term membership and about Pat Hannigan, so I provided to him.
Okay, so let me show you. Yeah.
Sean, could you repeat the percentages and dollar amounts, please?
Yeah, WFD 61.2
Mhm.
for $31,648.48.
Okay.
DFD 38.2 or 38.8, excuse me, for $20,064.72.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
Sorry, go ahead.
The secondary LoSAP foundation, and people were asking where their checks are, because it seems to give in the department that people are eligible for it. It seems to be getting later and later each year in the year from where the previous ones. One guy told me, I got my check on July 7th last year, and now we're the 14th, and so, yeah, any feedback that we can give them?
I don't do those checks. We provide PenFlex with a list of names of people who get it. And then we send them the check and then they just distribute the check.
Could you possibly ask them?
This is something that I brought up before, because traditionally we have our audit report completed by now. It's supposed to be filed with the state June 30th. But our auditors cannot complete the report because we're waiting on a PenFlex annual statement. So we pay them $1,500 a year. Really, we're just doing it internally. I spoke with Terry, I spoke with our CPA. I mean, we would just cut the checks to the members ourselves, send them the 1099 ourselves. Those members, Jay, don't withdraw the money yet, it just goes to Lincoln Financial and goes into their account. So in this, what you were talking about, change, considering changing future LoSAP, this is something else. But I can reach out to PenFlex.
This is, so I can say that the people that have asked the question that you are reaching out to PenFlex is on its whole budget up, and we're going to ask them to explain why.
Business operations and technology, Nick. I should have mentioned.
I have nothing.
Development plan review. Thinking myself, I believe there's some plans in there last month that went in your box, Nick. I didn't see them, but.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to look at them. I did grab them the other day.
We get something for hand. It looks like they're adding like kind of a mechanical refrigeration type unit. Email today. Doesn't look like anything bad. So like adding on to the backside. We did hear that this Northwest Champions project is slowly going to be starting up. Looks like they're funding moving a little bit. The town, I think, is supposed to be a referendum or something coming up. But construction could still be a couple of years away, if I'm not mistaken, if I recall correctly from what I'd heard. Other than that, nothing earth shattering. We talked about the church last month. Anything else for the development plan review? Outstanding. Recruitment retention, Rich and Bob.
Oh, you're Rich.
It was noted that there was a lot of activity last month, and not a lot of result from that activity. I think it's important that we continue to document all these public-facing events where we attempt any kind of recruitment and the results of it, good or bad, because Brian talked a few minutes ago about the fact that we're going to be going to the taxpayers possibly for some pretty substantial chunks of change, and if we start to add the cost of station keepers in there, people are going to want to know what we have done actively to recruit. And I think that, I've said it before, but these kinds of events, positive or negative, show that our people are working very, very hard at this. And it's, we can't drag people in and impress them like the old British Navy crews used to do.
Most farmers with a club and start Shanghai people. That's what he was alluding to. Anything else for
Good. And I think, Chris, would you like to add anything from the stuff you've been doing?
I just know that we've been hitting the food trucks on Wednesday nights pretty hard. We did receive one application on one of the nights of the food trucks, and we're giving the applications out. I was just trying to get them back. That's the hard part.
I also think I heard in the station that you're gonna try to do something at the Joe with Valley Cafe.
We've been trying to, but we've had no success. I'm trying to set up in there. No phone calls back to us, no nothing. So whenever we usually see an event in the town being held, we just reach out and try to get ourselves a spot set up.
That's definitely a challenge. That, nothing else, anything for public session in general? Session in general. Excellent, hearing none, motion to adjourn.
I just guys thank you, Brian, for running the meeting, and I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Motion by Nick.
I'll second it.
Rich, all in favor? Aye.
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 You only 10 minutes into Raj.
Been, by the.
I hit end now?
Hey, Bob and Mike, thanks for the effort in getting me dialed in. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Dan, I cut you off